Welcome to another edition of Everything Football. I'm your host, Jonathan Big Tex Johnson. We are up on the tomorrow's the draft, NFL draft, and one of the things that I find that's one of the main things that's been happening leading up to this draft is a lot of things with troubled players, be it from Joe Mixon and his assault that they had on film from a couple of years ago, hitting his girlfriend inside of a bar. That was Joe Mixon. You had things about with uh, Cook from out of Florida State, Dalvin Cook uh, from the tying up a dog or whatever, and some assault thing that went on with that with a female. Uh, you've had the young man from out of Ohio State. Something that's came up about rape and all these other different things that has come up. That's been one of the main topics of this draft. Is a lot of things that's going on because of course they run background checks and all this stuff on these players before drafting, before they put millions and thousands of dollars on these guys. They got to check them out, so they say. Uh, but don't be confused, ladies and gentlemen, because these guys are going to get drafted. Their stock may fall, but they're going to get drafted. Somebody's going to draft them because of the talent that they have, and that's fine. Some of these guys, it was a first time thing that happened or whatever, and and whatnot. But and they'll get a second chance. That's fine. One of the things that I want to comment on and where I think it all starts at a couple of years ago, just on a whim, might have been 3 years ago, getting back into high school football, mainly in Texas and stuff, being that's where I'm originally from. Talking to a friend of mine, my buddy, best buddy, and I remember just seeing these players starting to uh, get verbal scholarships in the eighth grade going into the ninth grade. And I thought that was the craziest thing that I've ever seen. I'm like, wow, how these guys are getting this kind of stuff, and they haven't even played high school ball yet. But these coaches already see. These guys have been around it so long. It's like it's not even a thing anymore. And I'm saying all that to say is that so when you start tapping a player at 14 and 15 years old, right? You already have the trajectory on him or the projection that you have on this particular player is that you see him being a great college player. If he's a great college player, he indeed can possibly be a good pro player and whatnot. He's a good player. You get more in his class like that. Like you have Alabamas and these USC's and all these other different programs that had these legendary players that play for them in college, and then these guys be having three, four, five, or like back in the day, University of Miami's got players like that. These guys going in the pros. The guys going three and four, five first rounders, two, three first rounders, a couple of second round. They got a lot of people going in the pro, and it's coming from their program, so that makes them look good. But at the end of the day, when you start giving a kid that much notoriety, he's already getting a college scholarship or getting verbal scholarship before he's even got a driver's license, before he's even went to a prom, before he's even done any of these type of things. And he gets that. Now, some players take that stuff the wrong way, and these guys are straight up knuckleheads. Okay? They're straight up knuckleheads. There's a player right now that was playing for Oklahoma, great cornerback coming out of La Vega, out of Waco, out of Texas. I can't think of his name off the top of my head, but the young man was already in a couple of assaults, uh, armed robberies. I think he's off the Oklahoma team now. He played some as a true freshman because he was a top cornerback in the country. Already trouble with him. So this trouble didn't just happen him going to Oklahoma. This trouble was brewing already in Waco. He already was doing some things. We don't know it. I'll never know what it is, but I know he was already doing some things. The things that happened with Dalvin Cook over there at Florida and mixing things going back to high school. You know these things are happening to these players, then you need to address these guys right then and there. And the parents need to be the first one to need to jump right on them. And say, dude, if you're going to continue with that particular type of behavior, and then they lay the gauntlet down on them because you're not going to be able to do too much of anything. And these colleges, we're not looking at you. But no, somebody's going to always be like, no, we're going to try to get you. Don't worry, you get your second chance. I'll make sure of it. And that sounds like a noble thing that you're doing for him, but that might not be the thing that needs to be done for that particular player. What probably needs for that player to happen, like, no, we're not doing anything with you. Screw it. We're done. We're taking the scholarship back. We don't want you because you're a headache and we're not dealing with you. And we're done. And just go from there. Because sometimes a kid needs to be taught a lesson that that particular behavior is not going to get you anywhere but disappointment and eventually in jail and in some cases shot or killed. Those are the types of things that's going to happen. One of the things I remember seeing is something happened with Cam Newton when he's at Florida, and there's something about, I forget, some DVDs or whatever. I can't remember the incident, but he was kicked off of the Florida team, and the kid had to go way over, clear across the map to go play at Blinn College, right? Blinn, over there in Texas, Brenham or wherever that place is, way up over there, where he had a high school that probably had better facilities than that. He did what he had to do for those couple of years, won a championship there and stuff like that. Then ended up coming to Auburn and worked his way back. And then it was controversy behind Cam and all that kind of stuff. But nonetheless, the point I'm making is that kind of taught him a lesson. He got knocked all the way down, and sometimes you have to do that. Sometimes you have to teach these kids a lesson. Some may get it, some may never get it. But teach them something. Show them like, nah, you're not doing that. It was a big shot recruit from a couple of years ago in Texas again. He was 4.5-star recruit. Very great, real good cornerback. Played in Nacogdoches. Next thing I know, I ain't hear nothing about the kid. Come to find out, he gets mad at his teacher and he starts throwing erasers or whatever at his teacher. Of course, that knocked him down. He ends up having to go to some smaller college. Now I don't know what I'll look him up, see what has happened with him and everything like that. But it's like we'll see what happens because some guys can't take that blow to their ego, and then that happens. But those are the things that need to happen. I don't care if the guy's a 5-star recruit. If he's getting into trouble and stuff like that, take your scholarship from him. Teach him a lesson. Teach him a lesson. And that'll show the next person coming up, we're not playing. But if you constantly let these guys come in, I didn't say don't give them a second chance, but be like, look, something happens between now and the next time that before you would get your scholarship, we're taking it from you. We're not dealing with this kind of behavior. We're not tolerating that mess over here. And do something about it. Because if you don't, that player becomes a problem. That's what ends up breeding your Aaron Hernandez. That's what breeds players that constantly get into trouble. And then furthermore down the line, if when they're out of the game and have blown through their money and whatnot, then they end up being these players that end up holding up gas stations and bank robberies and assaults and stealing and whatever kind of stuff that goes on. You have to start making these players accountable now. But these coaches are already jumping on these players at a young age. So right then and there, you're already breathing like I'm better than everybody else because I got a scholarship already and ain't but 14, 15 years old. It might be just verbal, but I got somebody looking at me. I got Saban coming to look at me. I got these big shot colleges looking at me already, and I'm just in the 9th grade. And that breeds, as we would say, big-headedness. And these are the types of things that ends up breeding these particular type players that end up coming into these drafts trouble. You already got D.D. Westbrook, like 2 assaults or 2 batteries on a woman or domestic assault or something like that. These guys are barely in their 20s. And they already have records of assaulting women. These guys are getting in armed robberies, stealing, brawls. And of course, the NFL, some of these players, but they're going to get drafted. They'll get drafted. Somebody's going to get drafted and be in the first round or whatever round, and they'll play. And hopefully, them guys will become good. But somebody, the parents, that's the first teacher, And then you have these other different teachers that's in these schools, as well as you have these coaches. And then later on, they go to college, you have the coaches, as well as the boosters, and all of these people, and administration, and all of them need to like get at these people. Stop it. You need to start caring about these players instead of worrying about how many people are going to be in your stadium. So that's one of the most important things that needs to happen right now. These guys, it needs to start right now. And these particular people, it's like they don't care. And right now, in this particular day and age, then it may be a draft come in where it's no baggage on these guys. Some of these guys come from impoverished backgrounds. I got that or whatever. Still, a lot of times, there's no excuse for a lot of different things what some of these guys do. Because some of it is just being knucklehead. And then you at that age, you're going to do knucklehead things, but nothing to the extent. You got guys already having the records coming into college. So they got records coming into college, and then they're blue chips and all this kind of stuff coming into college. Oh, and I'm a star, and I'm able to do this and able to do that. Well, they're going to be even more of a bigger knucklehead. Then somebody's going to drop that knucklehead. Now he's a knucklehead with $50 million, $40 million. Then what can you tell him? Nothing. And that's what breeds, again, your Aaron Hernandez. That's what breeds your guys that you see on broke. That's what breeds, these particular type of people. That the red flags that come, and they needs to be stopped. And like I said, it starts at home. But somebody need to be held accountable, and somebody needs to start teaching them right now, because first and foremost, you need to be an outstanding citizen first, and then be everything else second, third, fourth, or fifth. Because football is a small window, it doesn't last long. You basically 3 or 4 years, and you're basically done. That's the average, and then you got your whole life ahead of you. So what happens if you don't have anything going on for you, and you've done a bunch of stupid things all this time, and what do you have to show for it? And you haven't, what are you going to get to society after you're done playing football? After you're done, or after you got kicked off of every team, you are an outsider from the NFL. You can't even look at it, can't even come in the NFL because of drug use or because of just whatever type of stuff. And you're 34, 35 years old. What do you do then? Like, come on. So somebody, but like I said, who cares? Who really is going to care about these players? No, he's making me money. He's extending my job. Everybody's taking a piece from this play and looking the other way. Oh, that's my baby. He's going to get me a house. No, someone needs to do something if they truly care about these players, and these guys mess up, take this scholarship from them. Take it from them. Like, nah, you're not going to do that over here. Somebody else will get you, but we're not going to do that over here. How would you know? And you work your way back up and try to become a better citizen. That's what needs to happen. Stop looking the other way. They saw Aaron Hernandez. His high school coach saw it. Urban Meyer saw it. Belichick, Kraft, they all saw it. They all knew the signs. He couldn't possibly do that. But if this guy's already got murders, they're talking about murders and stuff back when he's in college? Shootings? Nah. You got to do something with that. But as long as you let people like that in, you keep letting that in, and then that element comes in, and then you'll have these tragic stories like that. But somebody needs to get on these players and get on now. And like I said, it all starts at home, and then these coaches, these boosters, don't look the other way, and you won't have all of this mess going on in some of these doggone drafts. I know it's not going to be perfect, but you won't constantly have that because nobody's going to really be talking about them. But what happens is these guys still end up getting drafted, and you hope the best for them. But at the same time, it's like, hey, we have to cut this element out. You cannot already have a record coming into college. And you're 18, 19 years old. Then a part of another record in college at 20, 21 years old. So you got an arm-long record already going to pro ball, and you're barely old enough to drink. But now you're getting ready to get millions of dollars. And because you're going to make my team better, I'll look the other way as an owner. Can't do that. And that's hypocrisy of the NFL. It's hypocrisy of a lot of the owners and all of them and the coaches. But it starts at home first. So we definitely have to do a better job with our kids, with our young men all together. But check me out at Everything Football 62. Subscribe to the channel, make some comments, start some conversation. You can go to my Twitter page, Everything Football 62, Untucked Men 62. You can become a follower. And like I said, and tweet some stuff or whatever, start some conversation now. All right. You have a good one. Thank you.